Hello everyone, this is 404 and welcome back to yet another StarCraft 2 commentary. Here on, looks like Lost Temple this time. Looks like we have the Protoss player, Socke, versus the Terran player, Naama. Both very well respected players. This is in the GO4 SC2 tournament. I'm not sure on which round this comes from, but this does look like it's a best of 3 series between these two players. And it's like I said, it is from the European server. These are both European players. Very cool player right here, Socke. I don't really know a whole lot about Naama, but one can only assume that they're both, or Naama's fairly good if he's playing Socke. So it looks like we do have a scouting pro coming out for Socke here. Going to capture the Naga watchtower as my FPS just gets terrible. For some reason, when I do these casts, the FPS goes down, or it's iffy for like the first couple minutes, and then it just like evens itself out. I really have no idea why it does that. I don't have the best computer in the world, but I have a pretty decent computer, so maybe there's a problem on my end that I just haven't found out about, because I really am new to casting. But does look like there was some lag in game or something like that, and one of the spectators were forced to leave. So Socke's going to capture that Zelnaga watchtower, meet the scouting SCV of Naama. Naama's going to go in the wrong direction to begin with, just because scouting directly cross positional to start with would look fishy, but this probe's going to get a couple hits off on this SCV before another SCV comes in and puts a stop to it. I guess one thing I can say is most people already know, but if there are any kind of new players watching this video and they wonder, well, shouldn't the Protoss player be doing something? Well, it's kind of like this. You warp in your structure and then you go back to work. So there's not much to do. Protoss players usually go one gate in a cyber core. So unless you're doing something really crazy, I mean, there just really isn't anything to do. You can see Socke has his Nexus hotkeyed, so he can just 3E to build a probe. And looks like this probe might get out of here with his life, as this Marine just isn't going to be able to catch up to it and get one last shot. Oh, one last shot, but it does not look like that's going to be enough. Probe down to 1 health should restart generating those shields very shortly. But yeah, Protoss players, I mean, I play Protoss and I can vouch for it. There's just really not a whole lot to do. If you're Terran, on the other hand, if you build a refinery, you have to tell that SCV to start mining after it gets done, or tell it to go somewhere. I mean, I know you can use waypoints or whatever, but these workers have to stay there and build the unit. And if they get harassed, you have to deal with it. But like I said, Protoss players, on the other hand, just kind of just sit back and relax and be annoying, as their openers are, generally similar. We do have this Stalker coming out for Socke. Maybe going to try to go actually as a Zealot first and then a Stalker. Maybe going to try to go and put some early pressure on maybe this SCV or this Marine. It's going to see this Tech Lab, though, which I do not think Socke saw before. So you should know there's a lot of Marines. Will know how to counter it. More than likely get some Stalkers. Or Colossus, rather. I guess we can call those extra large Stalkers. Socke, for whatever reason, maybe just checking this Expo. Didn't decide to poke up in here. Not sure why. Maybe just checking for that Marine that was chasing that probe earlier. Just maybe seeing, hey, well, it's not here. Whatever, I'll go back. Didn't see an Expo. So, Socke just says, I'll take the Expo myself. However, for the Terran player, we do have kind of a fast starport. I don't even know where it's at. What the? Oh, yeah, here it is, up here. Yeah, so kind of fast, kind of out of the ordinary too. Starport way up here. Gonna get a tech lab. Probably see some banshees on that tech lab, or on that starport, or coming out of that starport rather. Very good supply depot coverage. Trying to get all these corners. We'll probably want to put one up here in this area. Just so there's no surprises like a proxy pylon or anything like that by the Protoss player. Nexus warping in for Socke. If you look at the income tab, yeah, just as it would seem, Socke is just a little bit ahead. and will only continue to pull further ahead in those workers. So if this little harassment for Naama doesn't get many drone kills or SCV kills, or not even either one of those, as the Protoss players use probes. But either way, if this Banshee doesn't get a lot of worker kills, it's probably not going to look too good for Naama. Naama does have somewhat of a decent ground force. This tank should be able to get in some kind of defensive position, as this bunker is going to hold the front door to any kind of pressure that Socke can put on. But it does look like we have a probe coming out. Marine should be able to kill that probe. Yeah, probe does go down. Small ground force for Socke as well. But we see that income tab. We see Naama falling behind Socke's worker count, as there isn't even no command second base for Naama even started. However, we do have this first Banshee out. Probably going to wait on that second. The cloak is done, and there is just now an observer coming out. So really good game sense by Socke there. Observer probably is going to be out of position by the time these two Banshees do get out and start harassing. But do we have a Robo Bay? No, another gateway. So no Colossus tech shown yet for Socke. Looks like a 4-gate with a Robo Bay. Going to get a couple of Immortals out. Where did that Observer go? Wow, Observer way down here. So, and we already have the harass going on. I kind of missed that, but if we look on the kills of these two Banshees, looks like 4 and 1 total, as this Observer makes its way across the map. Very, very slow. Oh, there's another one. So very, very good play by Socke. Did he cancel that? No, he just had 2 Observers. But he did cancel his Immortal building, it looks like. So Stalker's going to warp in, be able to take care of this one Banshee that has ran out of energy. And this Banshee up here looks like it might have got a couple more kills off, but dealt with pretty easily. The late timing on these Banshees did not work out into the favor of Naama. If we look at the income tab, yeah, Socke's still about 10 workers ahead. So Naama's probably scratching his head right now. I was thinking, what should I do? That really didn't work how I want it to work. So let's just get a bunch of infantry, as we see another factory and another X going down. So maybe more tanks, maybe some Thors. Naama does secure his own expansion, as Socke is going to come up here, kill these destructible debris, and get a third base, a third gold base at that. So both players macro him pretty hard, so it looks like we are going to see some late game play. Probably going to see some bigger battles here shortly. If we pull back up the production tab, looks like Orbital Command coming down here for Naama. Oh, what else going on here? Finally going to get that Immortal out. I do not think there was one finished earlier. There was one, so it did look like Socke canceled that Immortal to get another Observer out. But it looks like we have 2 Immortals on the field now. I'm not sure why Socke decided to go for these Immortals. He did have an Observer down here, so maybe he did see these siege tanks. But interesting enough, there were no Marauders, so I don't know why Socke didn't go for Colossus. Maybe obviously he knows a little bit better than I do, but maybe we'll see why later on. Very nice warping up a Zealot here, as Terran players love to drop tanks up here. And this Zealot, though somewhat weak, does allow spotting up onto the high ground. Will allow more units to be warped in off this single pylon. And this cannon will also have sight. So Cloak Banshee coming here, maybe just get a little bit of scouting information. Finally that Robo Bay coming in for Socke, but this Banshee does cloak and is going to start picking away at these probes here. Looks like 13 kills on this Banshee so far, but Observer giving sight to that Banshee. This Stalker is able to pick away at the Banshee. Not before it has 15 kills though, and it's going to come down here and be met by this Photon Cannon possibly, but it does not look like the Photon Cannon is in range. No, but this Stalker picking away at it forces the Banshee to move into this Photon Cannon, but not before the Banshee had about 17 kills, I think. So Banshee really, really paying off. It did look like that was one of the Banshees that was from earlier. Pulling back up the production tab, yes, level 1 weapons and level 1 armor coming in for Socke. Socke has a very, very nice army composition here at this Onaga Watchtower, keeping a close tab on his opponent, Naama. But Naama does kind of move out. Naama has control of this Watchtower. Doesn't really know where his opponent has all of his army, but this Colossus does finish. Extended Thermal Lance on the way, as well as another Robo Bay. But looks like there might be some kind of engagement here. Tanks do siege up. Force, what do we call that? Anyways, fight going down here in the middle. These Immortals dealing with these tanks. Lots and lots and just tons of Marines here. Viking picking away at the Colossus, but the Colossus is going to make quick work of those Marines. These Stalkers do need to focus that Viking, but it does look like the Colossus will go down. Both players taking a pretty even exchange there. Stalker's going to try to focus down that medevac, but Naama does press forward with his small but deadly force to Socke, because Socke really doesn't have anything. Probes coming off the line. No, Socke says, let me have those back. I'm going to try to shoo you out of here and get this gold base up and go, because if I can get that gold base, I'll just be way ahead of you. So more Stalkers more Zealots going to warp in, try to tank some of this damage as these sentries try to get some force fields down, and these Stalkers try to pick away at these medevacs, healing all these really low hit points Marine and Marauders. But Socke does pull back, trying to get these probes out, mining at that gold. This poor Colossus doesn't really have any defense, as it cannot shoot these Vikings. Socke does respond to that by warping in some more Stalkers. So Stalker's going to try to focus down those Vikings, but there is a pretty hefty Marine Marauder ball right here that Socke's just going to have to make some decisions of his own on which ones to focus down, as there are two defensive tanks back here just going to annihilate Socke's force. Looks like 1-2 Vikings. All the Vikings are going to land. Maybe try to take out this command center here. More Colossus, more Immortals on the way for Socke. More of the same on the way for Naama. Tanks, Marine Marauder, no Vikings, but medevacs rather. So Naama does press forward, take control of this central map right here. Socke knows exactly what's going on as this base is being attacked, as well as this observer is here. So Naama getting all healed up, gonna scan and quickly take out that, why can't I remember the names of stuff? Let me just do this. Yeah, Observer. I knew that, I just couldn't think of it. So Naama's gonna push forward with his tanks, Vikings, Marine Marauder, Medic combo. And Socke's gonna push out with a very, very huge force of Stalkers, Mortals, and as well as a couple of extended thermal lance range Colossus. So this will be a very, very exciting battle. See who comes out ahead. Naama backs up to his tanks. These tank splash damage are just going to rip through this Protoss army right here, as it just does not look like Socke had enough to deal with it, as well as Socke was just totally out of position to deal with anything like that. These Vikings, though, maybe a couple of them might get shot down. Looks like one did go down, and Socke was not able to keep that Colossus alive, but this medevac just might go down. No, it does not. Blink would be very useful right now for those Stalkers to take out a couple of these air units. Naama pushing forward yet again with these tanks. Going to disallow the Protoss player from doing anything, really. If we look at the income tab, Socke is still way ahead, but just really not able to produce many units, as Socke is chrono boosting out more Immortals. If we look at the army tab, yeah, Naama way, way, way ahead. There really isn't anything Socke can do about this. Looks like he's going to try, though. As this is a tournament, I'm sure there's some kind of money on the line. Just doesn't want to give up. This one Marine, these two Marines and this Marauder, going to try to pull back the Protoss units to these tanks. If he does get in the range of these tanks, these Protoss units will go down. Socke does know that, but these tanks, yeah, are just going to make quick work of these few remaining Protoss units. So yeah, very, very nice game played by Naama. Very nice Banshee harass into just Marine Medic, Marauder, Siege Tank combo to make quick work. Wow, I'm getting so tongue-tied. To make quick work of the Protoss army of Socke. It does look like this is a best of 3. So please stay tuned for the second game in this series. Thanks for watching.